In higher education, we have some assumptions that are quite costly for higher education leadership. One of those assumptions is that expertise in a discipline or functional area will translate into capacities at a higher level of leadership. For instance, a brilliant English professor with 3 new books published and some great teaching evaluations might be what gets them invited to apply for an assistant dean role. Or a director of campus conduct with great experience, success, and excellent project management might be invited to an assistant vice president role. The expertise that got them noticed and encouraged to apply for leadership roles becomes the credential that moves them into that leadership. And then they get in that role and everything changes. The assistant dean is merely even teaching, might be teaching 1 or 2 classes a semester or through the whole year. Now she's navigating faculty committees on accreditation and non-tenure contracts and a new civic engagement center. This work now has almost nothing to do with the scholarly expertise that she spent her whole life and her whole career developing as an English professor. Our new AVP now oversees not only campus conduct where he used to work, but also a behavioral intervention team, campus recreation, health promotions, and a counseling center, while also leading campus-wide initiatives on assessment, developing new work from home policies, and overseeing the new civic engagement center. The functional expertise that defined their career and their success is now largely irrelevant and can be even getting in their way. Higher education leadership has 3 paradoxes that get in the way. The promotion paradox, which I've talked about previously, is that the capacities that made us successful, that earn the promotion, won't be the capacities that will make us successful now that we have the promotion. The expertise paradox is that the deep knowledge and expertise that we've developed our whole careers to master may be what gets us noticed, but won't serve us in the new roles. And then there's the learning paradox, that higher education exists to develop people, yet we rarely take this developmental approach with higher education leaders and leadership. These 3 paradoxes are interconnected, and they each deserve their own examination. Today, I want to focus on the expertise paradox. The expertise paradox is that the expertise we've been spending our careers developing is no longer going to serve us. Now that we're in these new leadership roles, we're looking at leading very broadly in many complex domains, and the expertise we have in one domain might not serve us very well. Now we're making inclusive and efficient decisions, exercising influence without authority, driving strategic alignment, and leading change. These are not skills that develop automatically as you move into a new role, and they're not inherited from the last role. In higher education, they're almost never formally or informally mentored or developed through the process. The consequences for this are measurable. We know that staff turnover in higher education ranges from 12 to 16% annually. Every year, we're turning over that percentage. These decisions land without clarity, initiatives lose momentum, and leaders often find themselves feeling the gap. Our insecurity can set in and our inner critic can take over. And we have a sense that maybe we're underprepared for what the actual role really requires. Unfortunately, the leaders we report to are often experiencing the same thing at a different level. They're feeling overwhelmed, don't have the language for this, and don't have the time or energy to provide the kind of mentorship, development, or support needed to help these new leaders become successful in the role. This is one of the gaps that our Evolve program is designed to address. Senior leaders are not underperforming or overwhelmed because they lack intelligence or commitment and dedication. They're navigating a whole new level of complexity and sophistication that they've never really been prepared for. And the expertise that they spent their careers developing is not serving them well and might be getting in the way. In our leadership coaching journeys, we work with AVPs, deans, directors, and vice presidents to help them build the leadership capacity that they're actually required to help them be successful in these leadership roles and maybe their next role. If that tension feels familiar, I'd love to have a conversation.